since some time, and have always admired his very able handling of foreign affairs, his grasp of foreign affairs issues, international issues, and his very, very likable and pleasant personality, which I think is an added asset when he interacts globally. I was just talking to him, and he'll be traveling again, so we are very lucky that we have Shah Sahib amongst us today. Just one comment that this new government of Prime Minister Imran Khan, and this is a personal view, has a set of problems and lots of challenges that confronts it. But in foreign affairs, we are doing reasonably well. And I think much of it is due to Shah Sahib's presence at the Foreign Office. So Shah Sahib, thank you so much for having joined us today. I welcome all the other dear friends and colleagues. I have some of my senior colleagues here, particularly Dr. Humayun Khan, who was Foreign Secretary and in my time, and he was my boss many, many years ago. And then I have Ambassador Ashraf Jahangir Qazi, Ambassador Riaz Kokar, Ambassador Fawzia Nasreen. The list is long, so I will content myself by naming a few and welcoming all in any case to this conference. There are dear friends from the diplomatic corps, and there are many, many representatives of think tanks and of universities and academic institutions. So we really have a gathering of a galaxy of people who are all very good in their respective fields. Ladies and gentlemen, deterrence stability between India and Pakistan is again coming under increasing stress due to a number of factors. A, India's force posture developments and aggressive military modernization. B, a spike in fissile material production and stocks. C, its doctrinal developments. D, India's strategic partnerships and the preferential and exceptional concessions and access to technology being offered to India by major world powers. This is a systematically exacerbating strategic and conventional asymmetry in India's favor. So over a period of time, this ascendancy is likely to give India a false sense of security and confidence to plan and exercise use of force against Pakistan. South Asia is a volatile region that is increasingly facing escalatory trends. The recent tensions between India and Pakistan and those in the past point to the core issue of Jammu and Kashmir. And we have to address the matter directly. The latest Pulwama attack and subsequent Indian action to establish a new normal, quote unquote, in regard to counter-terror operations once again brought the issue of deterrence, the issues of deterrence, escalation control, and conflict management into the discussion. India and Pakistan border skirmishes were going on for a long time along the line of control. However, in February 2019, India upped the ante and chose to vertically escalate the response to the Pulwama attack by employing air power across the LOC and into Pakistan's KPK province bordering Azad Kashmir. This shows that there is an intent to fight a limited conventional war under the nuclear overhang. The obvious corollary to this is that there is an attempt to activate the cold start doctrine and hope that it would not lead to conventional or nuclear war. because of India's threat of massive nuclear retaliation, which will deter Pakistan's employment of battlefield nuclear weapons. Therefore, the whole crisis cycle is in action, is in operation, and that is very unfortunate. Ladies and gentlemen, although nuclear weapons are considered a factor of stability in deterring conventional war between regional rivals like India and Pakistan, the potential for conflict exists because the core dispute of Jammu and Kashmir has not been settled. If a strategic stability between these two countries was achieved, the deterrence relationship could also stabilize and would complement global peace and security. In my view, stabilizing the subcontinent and reducing the risks of crises is largely contingent upon certain political and some military imperatives. This involves making concerted efforts towards dispute settlement and resolving territorial disputes of various kinds. Siachen could be a good starting point, and reinvigorating the bilateral composite dialogue process could be another. Both countries should strive to maintain a stable nuclear deterrence through several mutually inclusive measures, such as eschewing any dangerous conventional or nuclear doctrine, or shunning the doctrines that seek the space to fight under the nuclear threshold and the threat of massive retaliation. Pakistan is a victim of terrorism, and as a responsible state has no interest in fomenting terrorism in India or elsewhere. In fact, Pakistan is fully committed to eradicating terrorism, as evidenced by the campaigns of Zarbul Azb and Radul Fasad, which constituted the largest military operation anywhere in the world to combat terrorism. Islamabad's efforts to deal with terrorism can be complemented if there is a desire to help Pakistan deal with this problem and to eliminate this menace. Pakistan has put on the table proposals for such action, both at the nuclear level by proposing to India a strategic restraint regime way back in 1998, as well as in the conventional field. But India has been declaring its nuclear doctrines of developing a major nuclear arsenal and delivery system, including a triad of Army, Navy, and Air Force. As a result, Pakistan has not been left with any option but to safeguard its security interests. While Pakistan does not want a nuclear arms race, nor compete with India in a number of weapons, it must develop and maintain a minimum credible nuclear deterrent, which has to be dynamic and correlated to the growing nuclear capability on the other side. Pakistan has, on the record, declared a moratorium on nuclear tests, but as can be well imagined, it cannot give up the option of nuclear tests, nor agree to stop the production of fissile materials unilaterally. So, the overall picture looks quite grim. Before I sort of wind up my preliminary remarks, I would also like to recall that the P5 communique of June 4, 1998, the Security Council Resolution 1172 of the same year of June 6, and the G8 communique of June 12, 1998, which have all linked non-proliferation to Kashmir. They have recognized the need for solving the root cause of tension and urged resumption of the Indo-Pakistan dialogue on Kashmir. The Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, has also taken a clear stand that Kashmir is the only dispute between India and Pakistan on which there should be a dialogue. Other issues can be addressed subsequently. The agenda of the West is non-proliferation. The agenda of Pakistan is to seek a peaceful settlement of the Kashmir dispute. The international community has itself established the link in Security Council Resolution 1172 and the communiques of P5 and G8, that the two are directly linked in terms of the issues that have to be addressed. We should therefore hope for progress in this direction so that the strategic stability in the region is maintained and strengthened. The conference will deliberate upon these issues today to reach conclusions that would place on record Pakistan's perspective on the eve of the Indian elections that are scheduled to begin tomorrow. We will be very avidly waiting to hear the foreign minister's comments in this regard. I therefore would like to conclude here and wish the participants a fruitful day of discussion and deliberations. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is our great privilege to have amongst us the Foreign Minister of Foreign Affairs of Pakistan, Mr. Shah Mehmood Qureshi, as our chief guest for this conference. Mr. Shah Mehmood Qureshi, the current Federal Minister for Foreign Affairs, is a prominent politician of Pakistan. He has been a member of the National Assembly of Pakistan since August 2018 and also serves as Vice Chairman of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf since 2011. Previously, he was a member of the National Assembly from 2002 to 2018 and served as the Minister for Foreign Affairs from 2008 to 2011. He also delivered his keynote address. The floor is yours, sir.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Excellencies, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It is a privilege for me to speak to this august gathering of diplomats, scholars, and academics. I thank the Center for International Strategic Studies for providing me this opportunity on an issue of great contemporary significance. The events of the past few weeks serve another stark reminder of the heavy responsibility that both Pakistan and India bear to work towards addressing the underlying challenges to strategic stability in South Asia and to commit to a peaceful environment conducive to the socio-economic development and welfare of our peoples. We've also witnessed how strategic stability in South Asia can be impacted not only by regional developments, but also by the approach of international community, in particular that of the major powers towards the region. We hope that key players would recognize the need for objective and even-handed approach, which is not tainted by considerations of geopolitical dominance and defining new regional security paradigms. Ladies and gentlemen, the South Asian security environment is in a state of flux. India's massive acquisition of conventional arms, coupled with offensive doctrine such as Cold Start, expansion of strategic assets including nuclear submarines, introduction of anti-ballistic missile systems, etc., are developments with serious security implications for Pakistan. The recent anti-satellite test once again highlights our concerns on the military spin-offs of high technology trade with India, while disregarding proliferation concerns, which also undermines regional stability. Similarly, the country-specific exemption by the Nuclear Suppliers Group has had negative implications for strategic stability in our region. Introduction of new destabilizing weapon systems, such as the S-400 anti-ballistic missile system, could further accentuate challenges to strategic stability. They can encourage misadventure by an adversary under a false sense of security against a counterattack. The recent belligerence displayed against Pakistan and the assumption that Pakistan could be subject to punitive strikes at will is a clear manifestation of threats to stability in the region. As a peace-loving country, Pakistan is committed to peaceful and normal relations in its neighborhood. However, we would also like to make it absolutely clear that we are equally determined to frustrate any attempt to create the so-called new normal. We expect outside players to be mindful of their responsibility in terms of arms supplies to the region in pursuit of their geopolitical strategies. Designation of states as net security providers, bestowing upon them a sense of entitlement to pursue capabilities beyond genuine national security requirements, is a dangerous proposition. Such notions violate the principles of equal and undiminished security for all, adopted by the United Nations General Assembly. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan is a peace-loving country. Our conduct as a nuclear weapon state will continue to be defined by restraint and responsibility. As we seek to ensure our national security, credible minimum deterrence remains our guiding principle. We are opposed to a nuclear or conventional arms race in the region. Pakistan has demonstrated its commitment to peace and stability for putting forward the proposal for a strategic restraint regime, which is premised on three interlocking elements: conflict resolution, nuclear and missile restraint, and conventional balance. This proposal remains on the table. If pursued with sincerity, this proposal can lay the foundation of lasting peace and stability in the region. Conflict resolution is the key to any successful strategic stability arrangement in South Asia. The abiding threat to the long-term peace and stability of this region emanates from the Kashmir dispute that has remained unresolved for more than half a century. It lies at the heart of every crisis between Pakistan and India, including the events in February. This uncertainty underscores the urgency of finding a peaceful resolution to the Kashmir conflict. India's continued denial of right to self-determination of the Kashmiris, which has been promised to them through the United Nations Security Council resolutions, and the blatant human rights violations in the valley have led to frustration among the Kashmiri youth. As a result, the freedom struggle in the valley has gained tremendous momentum, and the plight of the Kashmiris has caught the world attention. What we are witnessing today in Kashmir is the backlash being faced by India due to its atrocities inflicted on Kashmiris. We believe that the only way for Pakistan and India to move forward is through a dialogue. We need a willing and constructive partner to tackle daunting challenges that beset our region, including disease, poverty, illiteracy, climate change, and environmental degradation. A peaceful neighborhood is the sine qua non to build prosperous societies. Ladies and gentlemen, in November 2018, with the inauguration of the Kartarpur corridor, a long-standing demand of the Sikh community, the current Pakistani government showed that it is prepared to take concrete steps to ease tensions and our commitment to work towards friendly relations with India. Pakistan has shown a bigger heart. Even the attack on the Chinese consulate didn't stop this initiative. Indians, on the contrary, at the last minute postponed the upcoming Kartarpur corridor meeting scheduled for 2nd of April. Without seeking views from Pakistan, and especially after productive technical meeting on the 14th of March at Atari. Our neighbors need to understand that the only way forward is dialogue and not its suspension. In the end, I would like to reiterate that Pakistan remains steadfast in its commitment to improve its bilateral relations with all neighbors and building a prosperous and peaceful South Asia. I thank you.
Thank you, sir.